You're listening to a Frequency Podcast Network production.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Welcome to Tuesday. My name is Brock.
I'm Dalby. Got your Christmas tree up yet?
Yeah, Courtney did that like 2 days after Remembrance Day.
Shit.
She was on it.
I thought maybe I was more festive than you for once. We put our tree up yesterday.
Nice.
December 2nd might actually be a new record for us. Put the fake tree, took it out of the basement, set it up. Kids got to work on all the ornaments. Realized we have 2 pickle ornaments for our tree.
What
now.
is the pickle thing? I've heard this before.
I honestly do not know the lore behind it.
Is it like a German thing?
I believe so. It's from that part of the world. But my oldest, Alex, doesn't know the lore behind it either. Just thinks it's super funny to have a pickle in the tree.
Apparently, according at least to Google here, yeah, it's a German tradition, and someone would hide the pickle in the tree, and then someone is supposed to find the pickle in the tree.
See, here's the thing. I feel like that works if you have a real tree. But as we were unfolding all of the fake branches yesterday, you got to fluff it up before you can hide a pickle in there. It
says, on Christmas morning, the first child to find the pickle is rewarded.
With what? The pickle?
An extra present, opening the first gift, or a special gift. That's all what Google says here.
Also, because we got one that's like sort of tin, and then another one that's just like an ornament that you buy from the mall and hang on
I think
there.
they used to throw like real pickles in there.
Doesn't that sound kind of gross? Like, you can't put that in until Christmas Eve.
Well, even in general, like, if you're not at home and your uncle wakes up and he's like, find the pickle, you're like, oh, God.
That Christmas is ruined again.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Every year we kind of look forward to seeing what interesting choice the folks over at Oxford Dictionaries are going to make for the word of the year. Looking back, 2019 was climate emergency. 2020, remember, unprecedented. We had vax in 21.
Oh, God, yeah.
Goblin mode in 22. And who can forget last year's word of the year, Riz.
What did they come up for this year?
Well, this year they've decided that the word that best describes 2024 is brain rot.
What is brain rot? Because I've seen this online in comments before. What does that mean?
So it is the supposed, this is their official definition, supposed deterioration of a person's mental or intellectual state, especially viewed as a result of overconsumption of material, particularly online content considered to be trivial or unchallenging.
So is that basically like you're just scrolling through your phone too much? Is that what they're saying?
When you're on your phone, on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram or TikTok with all these short form content, no script, no plot, no thought required, doom scrolling, and you're just whoosh, 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 you are brain rot.
So what every couple does before they go to bed rather than talk to each other?
Kind of thought about that. Me and Mallory yesterday were like laying on the couch while the kids were playing and doing all this art, and we were just watching and sharing TikToks back and forth, and then I read this morning, and I'm like, oh, we were engaged in couples brain rot last night.
Sometimes true love is brain rot. You just sit there, you don't talk to each other, scroll through your phones until you feel like you're going tired enough to go to bed.
Well, and honestly, I feel like I've been using this word a lot as a dad. My kids, sometimes I'll see like the videos, like my son Marcus will come over and be like, Dad, can I show you a video? And it'll be like a short that he found on YouTube or something. And I'll just be like, oh my God, this is brain rot. Like, there's absolutely nothing to this. But then I've also stopped to think about, like, the world is a dumpster fire right now. Sometimes brain rot is the only way that I can get to sleep.
That's how you check out, yeah.
It's how I turn off all of the inflation and tariffs and immigration and all these
But
fights.
at the same time, some of this brain rot probably makes it even worse, because then you start going down these dark rabbit holes, or if you're someone that likes to get into the comments, then you get in there.
Well, and that actually kind of leads to, so they released their short list of other words that could have been, and there's demure, which was that there was like a very demure meme.
There was like a meme, yeah.
Dynamic pricing was on the list.
Was that because of the Ticketmaster, like Taylor Swift stuff?
Exactly.
True.
Lore is on the list. Romantasy, which is apparently a fan fiction genre between romance and fantasy. But the other short list also kind of leads to, like, we're all turning our brains off. It's slop. which is talking about
What's slop?
low quality, inauthentic, or inaccurate content, usually generated by artificial intelligence. So we watch too much slop, it leads to brain rot, and then that's our lore.
I thought slop meant something else, to be honest. That leads to brain rot, too.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Come to the coast. We'll get together, have a few laughs. I know what a TV dinner feels like.
The debate of is Die Hard a Christmas movie is super overrated, something that always comes up this time of year.
Oh, there's definitely two people in your family at Christmas dinner this year that will argue about this.
I did learn something interesting that apparently in every other language of English, Die Hard is not the title of the movie.
Oh, they had to translate it?
Yeah, due to the translation in other countries, they've got different titles for Die Hard.
Which makes sense because in English, Die Hard doesn't really make sense when you think about it. So I imagine it would be tough to translate.
Apparently in German, the movie is called Die Slowly.
That sounds awful.
The second one is called Die Slowly, This Time Really.
Come on now.
Legit.
For real this time. Just
Legit.
die already.
In Greece, it is called Very Hard to Die.
Which, again, grammatically,
It's Die Hard.
it makes more sense than Die Hard.
Poland, they just call it the Glass Trap because I guess of the building that it's in.
Oh, Nakatomi Plaza.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Norway probably has the best one because it's just called Action Skyscraper. Which is the best way to describe the movie, honestly.
That is the sickest band name that no one is currently using. I would buy tickets to go see Action Skyscraper in a heartbeat.
And then the Danish just call it Mega Hard.
That's not the same movie.
Which is 100% completely a different movie.
You got to go through the beaded curtain at the back of the video rental place to get Mega Hard.
To save the day, he's got to screw his way out of the office. That vent scene would be a lot more wild, I'll tell you that much.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
I was looking online here. There's tons of different movie titles that are translated for different languages.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you the translation title, and you got to try and guess what movie it is, okay? So if I was to say Vaseline,
Vaseline?
what famous movie would that be?
Vaseline? Oh. I don't know.
That would be Greece. That's what they call Greece in Argentina.
I get it now. That's great.
If I said it's raining falafel, what movie would that be?
It's raining falafel? Is that Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs?
That's what they call it in Israel.
Hey!
I'm drunk and you're a prostitute.
Excuse me? Oh, wait. Is that Pretty Woman?
No, it's Japan's Leaving Las Vegas title.
You know, that actually makes more sense. Yeah, you're right.
Dimwit surges forth.
Dimwit surges forth. Is it Dude, Where's My Car?
No, that would be the Water Boy.
The Water Boy Dimwit surges forth. Okay.
Movie title Full of Nuts. What would that be?
Full of Nuts. I'm trying to think of like a chocolate bar themed movie.
No, it's Dodgeball in Germany.
Dodgeball is
Full of
called
Nuts.
Full of Nuts.
This one's pretty easy. The Austin Powers, the spy who behaved very nicely around me.
Is that the spy who shagged me?
That is the spy who shagged me in Malaysia. Santa is a pervert.
Bad Santa?
That's Bad Santa in check. Yeah. Superpowered Dare Die Team?
Superpowered Dare Die Team. Suicide Squad.
No.
Oh.
That's Ghostbusters.
Oh!
That's Ghostbusters in China. China honestly has the best ones.
Dare Die Squad is weird.
American Virgin Man?
40-year-old virgin?
No. That is American Pie in China.
Oh. Yeah, okay, I get that one.
And final one here. He's a ghost.
He's a ghost. Is it Sixth Sense?
It is.
Hey! I almost said ghost, and I'm like, no, that's too easy.
Most people are like, no spoilers going into the movie. They just gave away the whole ending.
He's a ghost.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Yesterday, we learned how expensive the 12 days of Christmas would be in 2024. And then someone left us this bad line message last night.
Hey, Brock. Hey, Dalby. JC. I did a Canadian version of the 12 Days of Christmas. Now, bear with me because I don't have much of a singing voice. On the 12th day of Christmas, my true love sent to me a 12-pack of beer, 11 shotgun shells, 10 streams of trouts, 9 cans of maple syrup, 8 cherry blossoms, 7 meat pies, 6 balls of Crown Royal, and 5 quail eggs, 4 strips of bacon, 3 deer steaks, 2 pounds of moose meat, and a pair of wool socks, and a crow and a choke cherry tree, and a crow and a choke cherry tree.
Hang on.
Happy holidays. By the way, can't wait to hear your version of that. 12 Days of Christmas. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Hang on, go back. What happened to the wool socks? Where'd the wool socks go?
I don't know. I don't even know what he was saying at the end there.
The crow and a choke cherry tree.
And a crow and a choke cherry tree.
I want the wool socks back.
I took that as a challenge, to be honest.
Oh, I mean, he straight up said you had to do 12 Days of Christmas.
I spent a good hour and a half last night writing my own 12 Days of Christmas, Canadian
Really?
edition.
Amazing.
So if you don't mind, could I give it a shot here?
Please do.
On the 12th day of Christmas, my true love sent to me a 12-pack to drink, 11 snowmobiles brapping, 10 teenagers vaping, 9 protesters protesting, 8 wrong Timmy's orders, 7 skaters skating, 6 geese chasing kids, 5 dispensaries, 4 winter tires, 3 scam callers, 2 bags of milk, and for some reason another dispensary. That's the most Canadian 12 Days of Christmas of all time.
I was going to say 5 seemed low for dispensary, so I'm glad we got another one in there.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
I read online the craziest world record is going to be attempted.
Is this one we're going to try?
Maybe you'd want to try it. I don't know
Okay.
about myself.
All
Here.
right.
There's an OnlyFans girl named Bonnie Blue
All right, I'm out.
who is attempting to sleep with 1,000 people in 24 hours
Oh, my God.
to break the world record for most people to hook up with in 24 hours.
That's so many people.
She actually is taking applications right now. She put up a post on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it.
Do you need a resume to get in?
You
on
need
this?
to email in with an identification and everything. I don't know what the resume stats that you need. I don't know if
Right.
you need to provide like actual measurements itself. Or
Yeah.
anything, but
What's the job interview like for this?
I don't know, man.
1,000 people.
1,000 people is a lot. That's like a small town. That's like a village.
Honestly, yeah, there are a lot of places. When we used to work in Saskatchewan and we would have to go like broadcast on location, there are times we would end up in towns of less than 1,000 people. That's wild.
I don't even know 1,000 people.
Oh, for sure don't know 1,000 people.
Just imagine if on your way driving to Toronto, I don't know, like within the first hour and a half, if you stopped and hooked up with every car that you passed. It's a rough estimate of what that is, man.
And not only is it every car you pass, but they keep lining up. They keep pulling over where you're parked.
Where are they doing this is what I wonder. That's the real question. It's like you can't just have a lineup of people out on the street going into an
Right.
apartment building.
Yeah, or like, yeah, you can't do it like a motel or like, I don't know, maybe do you rent out like the convention room at a hotel? Like one of those fancy high-end hotels?
I don't know, man, because usually people are like, what's going on in here?
Yeah, trying to poke their head in.
How do you lock that down?
What do you guys got going? Oh my God!
You honestly need to rent out an arena or something.
Yeah, some sort of, at least some sort of like
Just a warehouse?
community facility of some sort, a community center.
I don't think
maybe?
it can be anything community related.
Well, yeah, I guess that's the thing is like you need a space big enough to hold 1,000 people, most of whom, 99% of whom, are just mingling around.
Are they all in the room together is what I wonder. Do they have like a green room for the fellas before with snacks?
A pre and post, when you go to give blood, you have to go into the front lobby.
They give you the cookie after.
You fill out the paperwork, then you go do the work, and then you have the recovery room.
God bless number 1,000, man. That is... Being that guy, it's like being at a gas station, seeing who came out of the bathroom before you. You're just like...
All right. Was sitting the last guy in the green room going, I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it.
That's a bond that cannot be broken, man.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The previous world record was 919 partners by a lady named Lisa Sparks back in 2004.
So she's not just looking to just edge over. She's going to take it all the way.
Now, and a lot of people are wondering, like, what are the parameters of it? Like, what counts as one person? How long does it have to go? This lady, who broke the record in 2004, spent 45 seconds with each person.
Oh, okay.
So that's the way they do it. They'd have the clock, 45 seconds, you're in, you're out, tag the next person.
So there's time for cuddling, is what you're saying.
Sure.
Hey, you know what's a tough job? Is being the guy who's got to be at the side of the table with the stopwatch.
Do they have like a handler of someone that's like, all right, buddy, you're out of here?
They got one of those, when you see people play chess in the park and they've got those clocks that they have to hit with the timer on it?
Yeah.
Guy's got to tag in and start his 45 seconds.
Dude, there are so many sex world records.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, according to Guinness, they've got the longest kiss on there, which is a lot more PG rated.
Oh, for sure. Well, I wouldn't expect these other ones to be in Guinness.
That's 58 hours and 35 minutes for the longest kiss.
That's it. That's the end of the relationship.
There is the world's strongest wee-wee, where a man from Hong Kong lifted 250 pounds 2 feet off the ground with his boyoyoing.
I've seen those records where they like tie it on there.
That's 250 pounds?
Damn, dude.
Holy.
That's a lot of girth to be just squatting.
The strongest lady parts, a lady lifted a 31-pound kettlebell using nothing but the strength of herself.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a grip right there.
I just hope that they sprayed off the weights after.
Well, I would assume, the question is, do they put them back up?
Planet Fitness is wild sometimes, honestly. And the craziest one, I don't even know how to word this, is the fastest release, I guess you could say.
Okay.
And I'm not talking like the time, I'm talking like speed.
Oh, like they got out the radar gun.
Yeah.
For the discharge.
Yeah, that's the best way to say it. A man got the world record for that. 42.7 miles per hour.
God damn!
Like, you're going to need to see some license and registration for that guy.
This man's speeding in the residential zones.
I would hate to be the guy with the radar gun for that one.
That's the problem, man. It's like someone had to record this speed, and I just can't think of how much protective gear I would need to put on before I could kneel down and assume the position.
I'm looking like Andy Reid of the Kansas City Chiefs in that first COVID game.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
You seen the video, the one that's going viral about the kid that just absolutely starts trashing a Walmart down in the States?
No, I haven't.
I don't know a lot about this girl because they have not been able to figure out who her parents are, or at least that information has not been released.
Is there a video?
But watch this video of this girl just trashing this Walmart here. She's throwing boxes of products on the ground. People are standing around watching. These are glass bottles of grape juice.
Yo.
Smashing them on the ground. And you can kind of hear right there, every time an adult, whether it's someone who works for Walmart or someone who's just in the area, goes over to try and talk to this kid, people start yelling, "Leave that girl alone! You don't know what she's going through."
Yo, who is this girl's parents? The better question is, where the hell are her parents?
So this clip is about 2 minutes long. If you want to see it, text Walmart 762-555, or if you're listening to the podcast, check the show links. It'll be in there. It's 2 minutes. It's not the full tirade, and there's not a parent in sight. Not one person stepping forward to claim his child.
You know what that was? That must have been one of those, no, you're not getting that right now. Christmas is around the corner, and then the kid probably just started losing their mind.
Or could even, because like I said, like with no parent, like the way this kid is walking around, it's not like a full rage. It's almost like casual. Just like walking up and like throwing different things.
Oh, there's some attitude in there.
This kid might have just got bored. Like mom or dad was over in like a specific section of the store and she was like, I'm going to take a walk.
Or it's one of those things of, you see parents do it all the time where they're like, all right, I'm just going to walk away if you're going to sulk.
Yeah.
And that's what happens when you go too far.
Look at this part of the clip here. This is she's just like kicking signage right now. And look in the background. 1, 2, 3, 4 blue vests. All 5 blue vest Walmart employees.
I mean, what do you do, though?
That's
Because in
the
this day
question.
and age, like, you can't really discipline other people's kids.
That's just it. Like, if you work at Walmart, you have to be like, I don't make enough money for this. I don't make enough money to step up and try and restrain what do you figure that kid's maybe 9 years old?
Something like that,
Maybe
yeah.
10? You're going to catch a charge if you try and grab that kid.
I'm just saying, if that was me,
Yeah.
I would have hell to deal with at home.
Dude, I'm trying to think of it like from the parent perspective of like as a dad.
Oh, those parents are going to have to pay for all that stuff.
Well, that's just it. I'm like, if I saw one of my 2 kids in the store smashing stuff, like say I had to grab something and I was like, I'll be right back, and I come back to this, my immediate instinct is I'm going to whoop this kid's ass. Like,
Oh,
what
yeah,
are
that's how you
doing?
meet the wooden spoon when you get home.
But also, maybe this makes me a bad parent. Maybe if I just stay quiet and my kid bolts for the exit, I won't have to pay for all the stuff that they broke. You know what I'm saying?
All I'm saying is that kid just made the naughty list.
Oh, 100%.
That kid 100% has to get coal for Christmas.
All coal, maybe even next year, too. I feel like there's carryover here.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Send a text, ask us anything that you want right now. 762-555, send a text, slide into our text line right now.
It's too sultry. It's too sultry.
762-555, questions, comments, concerns, slide into our chimney that we call the text line.
I don't care for that either.
No?
I don't know what it is, but I think the word slide has been ruined. I think the word slide, especially combined.
Slip into our text line? Is that better?
You know, I don't know if it is. I don't feel like it is.
Lube yourself up into our text line, whatever you gotta do. First one in here says, what's the most secret thing you know?
The most secret thing that I know?
Guess it wouldn't really be much of a secret if you say it, right?
I mean, there is that. I'm trying to think of like different places I've worked if I know any like industry secrets, but
I know a guy I don't like who cheated on his baby mama like 3 months before they had the kid.
no.
I'm not gonna say a name, but that's a pretty big secret that I've never told anyone.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you still see or speak to either of them?
No, I've never liked the guy, so
Right.
I've always kind of kept it in my back pocket if he pissed me off.
Damn, that would be tough. I think that would be the hardest part.
But it's like a bro code kind of thing, which is stupid to say, but
No, I mean, I get it. But I think I would tell. I think I would want to ruin that for him. I think if I hated a guy, I
if
would
he
want to ruin
crosses
it.
me,
Yeah.
don't worry. I got ammunition.
I'm trying to think of like even back to when I worked at KFC, but I don't remember any of the herbs or spices. It just came in a bag.
We did learn about a concert announcement that's coming in the coming weeks that we can't talk about.
Oh!
It's a secret.
That's right. Mm-hmm. I forgot who it is. But I do remember that conversation happening.
What's another one here? In the shower, do you wash your feet or do you let the soap and water just drip down and that's good enough?
I do the soap water thing most times, but like once a week I'll get down.
I got ticklish feet, even if I touch my own feet.
Yeah.
So I'll just squirt the body wash on the floor and just give them like the wipe around like
You
that.
need to get one of them things you can put them down. It's like the boot cleaner at a curling club, but you put it on the floor.
Because it is dangerous. There's times that I almost slip on the Irish Spring.
Honestly, yeah. For me, it's just so far down being so tall.
The body part I think that doesn't get washed the most is my back. Because because it can't reach all the way around. So unless like me and Courtney shower together,
Right.
which isn't as romantic as you think it is if you're single.
Absolutely not.
It never happens.
You got to get one of them. You can get them body thing. There's like a panel that you can like grab on both ends and scrub your own back. I had one of those once. I had to throw it out because like I had it for a while.
Yeah.
But man, I don't know if my back was ever as clean as that era.
If you had to clone yourself, what would you do with your clone?
See, that's the thing is like I feel like I would want my clone to do all the stuff in my life that I don't want to do. But I also know if it's a clone of me, it's not going to be happy doing that, and it's probably just going to leave.
I think the best thing that you can do is kill them and sell their organs on the black market. You make a bunch of money.
Do you think you could kill yourself, though? You know what I'm talking with the clone. Like,
yeah,
you're eye to eye. You're looking at yourself.
It's the best way not to run into those classic movie scenarios where they have to decide between you or the clone.
No, I get that, but I'm saying I don't think you have it inside you.
You haven't seen my bank account.
To pull the trigger
I
on
need
yourself.
money. Christmas is coming. I could easily do it. All right, final one here. Someone said, who do you think wins in a fight, Stuart Little or Ratatouille?
Stuart Little seemed a lot scrappier, didn't he?
Really? I gotta go with the rat on that one.
I think the rat was a pacifist.
He's a street rat versus that's a preppy little mouse that's never had to work for anything.
Ratatouille is not. Sorry, Remy. Let's use his government name. He's not a street rat. He lives in a French restaurant.
He was like living out in the sewers and stuff before that.
Yeah, he was living cushy, though. He wasn't like the rest of them rats.
Plus, I would take a line cook against any citizen any day of the week.
The only way that Remy wins that fight is if he's still allowed to control the other human chef to squash Stuart Little.
Rat versus mouse wins every single time, bro.
This is the Brock and Delby podcast.
You ever lose your wallet, like with money in it?
Yeah.
What do you think is roughly the most money you've ever accidentally lost?
I never have any cash, so it's just having my credit card that's the trip.
I can still vividly remember being like 11 years old on a trip to Edmonton with my family and losing my Velcro Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles wallet with a $20 bill in it and thinking I'll never recover from this.
Oh, yeah.
I saw a story that made me think, 'cause everybody's all like, oh, physical cash is dying. Bitcoin is the way to go. A man and his ex are embroiled in a bitter feud right now because he's accusing her of having thrown out his Bitcoin hard drive wallet.
Was this pre or post breakup?
This was while they were still together.
Oh, okay.
The Bitcoin on this hard drive is estimated to be currently worth $630 million.
Oh, so that's the reason why they're broken up then.
100%.
Yeah, okay.
You couldn't possibly, even if it was like the most innocent of accidents, like you could not possibly stay with someone after that.
So when you say she threw it out, was it like the thing where I messed up and I brought Courtney's stereo to the Salvation Army, or is this like she took it to the dump?
So I tend to be on her side after reading the whole story. I don't think she really did anything wrong. He thought that he had two hard drives. One was junk, and then one was this very important Bitcoin drive.
Okay.
He accidentally put the Bitcoin drive into a pile of stuff that was meant to be taken to the dump. It was garbage. It was trash. He asked her, can you take that box or bag or whatever it is to the dump for me? She did so. He then later realized what had happened and blamed her for having thrown out his hard drive.
So then it's his fault for putting it in.
He put the hard drive in there. And I'm just thinking like, hey, if you've got $630 million, which, mind you, it wasn't worth as much when this happened, but still a fair amount of money.
Okay.
You got to label it, right? Like, how do you make that mistake?
I feel like, yeah, unless she purposely grabbed it and threw it out, then, like, that's on you, bro, right?
I just, like, no matter, and they're sniping at each other now.
Then again, I guess it's one of those things where you're just, like, so mad you don't want to accept the reality kind of thing.
If I am the reason that I no longer have $630 million, I absolutely will find someone else that can take some of the blame. if only for my own mental well-being.
It's like everyone that's in jail. It's never their fault, right?
Everybody in jail is innocent, and everybody who lost their Bitcoin wallet, it's somebody else's fault.
But I mean, the right course of action is like you have to break up in that scenario. Like, there's no way that you guys can just move past that with couples counseling.
Just imagine sitting at the dinner table and your partner just starts chewing just slightly too loud, something you would never normally be upset about. And you just fly off the head. You cost me $630 million.
Hard drives are going to become the new VHS tapes at like Salvation Armies and stuff like that. Like, people are just going to be buying them to check them out to see what's on them.
See, the danger with that is you're probably going to find, you're unlikely to find a lot of Bitcoin. You're very likely to find a lot of other things.
Oh, that's exactly why I'm comparing them to VHS tapes. Family Video 2003 isn't always what it seems like.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Apparently, he's trying to make a deal with the like city council who runs that dump to let him get in there with like proper equipment and start excavating and sifting through all of it, because they're like, you can't just go rummaging through the dump.
Man, if I worked at the dump, I'd take that deal.
Well, I think it's less about letting him have access. He wants to like almost rip it up.
Yeah.
Right? Like tear it apart.
Rightfully so. What'd you say, $630 million?
Yeah. Apparently he originally offered them 25%, but because Bitcoin keeps going up, he's dropped his offer to only 10%, which is still $63 million to the city. I'm honestly surprised the citizens are not uprising to be like, let this man find his hard drive.
Even in general, I'm just surprised people aren't just sneaking into the dump trying to look for this thing.
Well, that is the thing. Now that the news is out there, I do feel like that's what it would take to get me to start rooting through a dump, though.
Yeah.
Like, I've been to dumps.
Dude, I've lost a lighter in a garbage can before and gone dumpster diving trying to find it. Like, what do you mean? Like $630 million? I don't mind being the garbage picker in this situation.
$630 million, I'll start rooting through the garbage, but especially because there's a difference from garbage to garbage, right? When you lose something in your own garbage can, you'll dive in there without a second thought because you know what's in there.
But it's $630 million.
But think of all the things that the people of this community have thrown into that. You're begging for tetanus at this point.
I will take a tetanus shot if I could have I would take a tetanus shot every single day of my life. If I could I would take tetanus. I would literally get tetanus to get $630 million. What do you mean?
I have heard my whole life about tetanus shots. Will tetanus kill you?
I don't know. I'd be willing to get it, though.
I think that's the problem, is if it is a sizable dump, you can go in there and you could be like, oh, I'll get dirty, I'll rummage through, I'll take all these risks. But there's still a significant chance you never find it. I mean, think about it, right? All the garbage that gets like moved around by these big, heavy equipment and machines and compacted and squished together. Imagine at the end of the day, after like months of getting to root through the landfill, you still don't find the hard drive.
I mean, I guess you just become a garbage person at that point.
I live here.
I just live there now.
For more Brock and Dalby, tune in weekday mornings 5:30 to 9.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast is brought to you by badshop.ca, the Brock and Dalby merch store, with all proceeds going to the Canadian Cancer Society.